Stuff is greening up and popping up in eastern Iowa. Well guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Welcome to Hartung Family Farms, and today it's exactly a week since I left for Phoenix. 8 days since we last had a video. Things are a little different. We've had nothing but heat, rain, and more heat, and that is perfect for corn and soybean growing weather, and things have been popping. It's not perfect if you need to get your plants on the ground, but if you have plants already in the ground, oh, it's beautiful for it. So I am on my way up to spray because I am way behind. It is not good, and we're honestly taking a gamble with how late we are with getting this stuff sprayed. I'll explain to that, and I'll get into that video, or I'll get into that topic a little bit more. But it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I am taking the full day off today to try and get a lot of stuff sprayed and to get caught back up so we're not damaging more crop. But before we do that, I need to stop by my farm. I'm taking a different way up to the farm today. I need to stop by mine and my wife's personal farm because we found some issues. I'll touch on that a little bit in this video, but you guys have to wait till the next video when I have more time to talk about it. Because again, I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm just going to swing by and just kind of double check what my uncle found. We'll go from there. This is the issue. So we had 7/10 of rain here, which is good, but this shouldn't be sitting wet. Ideally, this would all be drained because you can kind of see it's wet all the way up there, probably 100 feet or so. And it should be draining into that creek. We know there was a tile here at one point. What a tile is underground subsurface drainage to kind of help take the subsurface moisture out of here. So that way this stuff, the surface moisture, can drain down. There also might even be a spring in through here because this water's flowing. So anyway, this tile was here at some point, but it obviously got crushed or plugged or whatnot. We think it goes to right there, but either way, we can't plant this. This is not good. I'm going to have our tile man, a local company, that come out here with his backhoe and start digging. It's not going to be cheap. I was hoping to avoid this my first year before even making any money off this farm. I was hoping to avoid spending money on it, but it is what it is. We obviously can't farm very efficiently through it, so we got to get it done. And same thing up there. Actually, let's drive up there if we can. Out my scouting truck, or lack thereof. Yeah, so you can kind of see we got water sitting in it. Goes all the way out to here. Still a little moist, and in here I can cross. So yep, that's got to get fixed. This is also not good. So this is at the very tip of that waterway, the big waterway that I have on the east end of my farm, and there's a pretty big gully in through here. I have a feeling I'm probably just gonna have to redo this waterway at some point. There's a mound here. Probably just gonna have a dozer come in and at some point and just kind of fix this waterway, and we'll reseed it. But there is another tile up here as well. There's an inlet somewhere in here. Oh, I'm gonna get soaked. Oh, this is a little moist. There's a tile inlet, again, subsurface drainage somewhere around here that kind of helps. I'm guessing it's right there. Kind of helps take water that drains from the neighbor's field to the east and takes it all the way that way. Yeah, oh wow, it's wet in here. Yeah, so this is very moist. We can definitely tell the tile is plugged because this waterway always sits wet. So yeah, this is an issue. We're gonna get the tile guys out here and try to get her fixed. Wow, very sloppy. I don't even know if I can walk in through here. Yep, I'm a little soaked. Couldn't find anything, but we know there's a tile inlet because we're pretty good friends with the guys that farmed this before. So they're saying it's up there, probably 10 feet, 15, 20 feet from the fence. I don't know. Job for another day. I shouldn't say job for somebody whose expertise is greater than mine at subsurface drainage. What my expertise is in is killing these weeds. And you can kind of see our no-till fields are starting to sprout quite a bit of weeds, which is not good. So we need to get out there and start killing them. That's what I'm gonna head and go do. Really hope I don't pop a tire. That would really suck. Because this is obviously not a farm truck, but it's the only vehicle that I got. So that's what I'm using. I don't see any beans sprouting up yet, but it shouldn't be long. And Pat got this field planted west of the highway. So yeah, so just to recap, over the last week and some change, Pat got everything done up in Bellevue. He got that field done. He got 150 acres done behind the house, or behind the farm, I should say. And he got quite a bit done last night at the South Farm, like 140 acres. So he's gonna keep rolling. I think he's gonna move to longs today. And yeah, they're just gonna keep plugging along. Probably gonna do my field close to last. Don't love that, but it's not fit to plant. So you can't plant something that's not fit to plant. Because with corn, you want to get your corn as early as possible within reason. Because the more you can get exposed to the heat in the summer of the July and June, better your chances will be. So typically you're better off putting in earlier than later. But you obviously can't go too early because corn likes 50-degree soil temps, and we've had that for a while. I need to get catch and pad in the sprayer because, and like I said, once we get up to Bellevue, I'll show you a little bit more, but corn will be spraying today will already be emerged. I will be damaging the corn. It's not good. It's not ideal by any means, but it just is what it is. The life of a family farm, when we got only family helping, we don't have any hired men, sometimes you can't get everything done, especially when your sprayer guy is not full-time. And here comes Kyle. And there's our wheat. It's not looking too bad. So this is how the boys load up the chopper truck to take feed down south. Basically, they just take the feeder wagon, put it into the loader tractor bucket, and then Kurt dumps it in the chopper truck. Not ideal, but it works. It's much quicker for this time of year. Some more chem I got, which I'll definitely need. They're almost done. Yeah, so then Kurt, like I said, will dump it into the chopper truck. So I need to get moving because I'm gonna have a big day spraying today, partially because I gotta be back home around 6 o'clock because my wife's out of town. She has a church obligation that I have to fulfill. So they got the semi engine apart. They got the head off the top. Don't know how far they've dug into it, but made some progress on it. Hopefully we'll have a third semi by harvest. And it's also going to be kind of neat. We're going to have a drone come to our farm today to spray some wheat. To spray the wheat, I should say. We're going to put a fungicide on it. We're also going to put some micronutrients with it. Some boron, some potash, sulfate, manganese. See how it works. So this is our foliar feed. So we got, like I said before, boron, manganese, phosphate, potassium. I also found some more. Didn't know we had that, but boron, iron, manganese, and zinc. So micronutrients, as well as some insecticide. Well, I'm waiting for the boys to get back to help me out with that, and then they're gonna run me up to a vehicle so I can head up to Bellevue and start spraying. So while I'm waiting, I might as well go do some crop scouting. So this is our wheat. It's a little bit uneven because of two reasons. You can kind of see I'm standing in a bare spot. One, this field was pretty clumpy. After we seeded it, we should have rolled it. Oh well. And two, we seeded it a little light, but could be worse. So you can kind of see there's my sprayer tracks. The wheat was definitely damaged a little, but it's still growing, so that's good. But the reason why I'm not spraying it with my sprayer again is because now if I would drive over it, especially with my fat tires on, it would kill that wheat. So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna have a drone come and spray this. So it's 20 acres, we've never had a drone on our farm do any spraying before. I'm looking forward to it. This will be pretty neat. I have no idea what wheat stages look like. Right now it just looks about a foot, 14 inches tall. No idea what boot stage means, but I think that means when it starts to fill its head, I think. I don't know. It looks good from the road, don't get me wrong. But out here, it just looks uneven. I don't know, all my wheat guys, what do you guys think? That's what our wheat looks like. That stuff is early. Starting to fill its heads there. It's hard to tell, but we got some beans popping through. You can definitely tell that, you know, where there's no residue, the beans pop up nicely. When there is residue, like right here, there's gonna be beans fighting through this at some point, or not, because sometimes some of them were planted right on the ground. So this is why we're looking at a vertical tillage for some things. Because, like I said, beans are coming up, but some beans are planted right in the corn stalks, so that won't emerge. That's not good. Like right there, there's another one. Well, that kind of sucks. So that's another reason why we're looking at a vertical tillage. What I'm meaning by that before is we have a problem with emergence with our no-till corn. So, for example, soybeans can go up through this, but I guarantee you every single plant, seed that we put down will not be able to go through all this bean stubble. And if it will, it's gonna take a lot longer. Like, there's no way a bean's gonna come through all that trash. So one thing that we are looking at doing, and we made a little trial, and that's what I'm actually out here exploring, is that vertical tillage that we ran in this video right here. What a vertical tillage machine does is it basically just stirs and chops stalks and exposes more dirt. So look at this. This was vertical tilled. We only vertical tilled about a 100-yard pass, but you can kind of see there's a lot less residue, a little bit more buried. And look at this. Emergence, 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 emergence. Perfect. That's awesome. Right here's where the vertical till stopped. Crap, crap, crap. Not bad, not bad. Crap. Look at this, right here. Big, big difference. And here's our corn, looking pretty good. We're right around V2, going to V3. We got some volunteer corn. And here's our corn, looking pretty good. We got some volunteer corn from chopping. Gonna rip that off. Looks pretty good. Nice even emergence, no weeds. Like I said, we just got some volunteer corn, which we don't like, which we honestly might break out the row cultivator and I don't know, we'll see what we do. But that's what I like to see. No weeds. Let's keep rolling.
You know when I'm on the TV, there was
you want to be on it, Kay? There you are. Well, guys, we got a treat today. This thing's a little bit bigger than the drone I got. But so we have Keaton Wilson with, what's the company? Is it Wilson Ag?
Wilson Ag Innovations, yep.
Awesome. So he is going to be out spraying our wheat. So as I just mentioned before, we have to put a fungicide pass on it. And we won't be able to do it in our sprayer for a couple weeks until we get the skinny tires on. That's where Keaton comes in. So Keaton, tell me what you got.
So right here is a DJI T40. With this, we're able to hold about 10 gallons in the tank. And depending on your application rate, today we'll be doing 2 gallons per acre. So it'll be right about 5 acres per fill. So just go ahead, fire up, send her over, and I can do about a 30 to 32 foot swath. Any speed you want up to about, it goes by feet per second. The top speed's 32 feet per second. So
it's pretty good for an application rate for that size.
Yep.
So it roughly, so equivalent to like a helicopter or drone, or a helicopter or plane, very equivalent application rates.
Yeah, yep, basically identical.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Except with a drone, you can get a little bit more nimble, because if we had a plane or a helicopter, they wouldn't be able to get near as close to those power lines.
Absolutely.
So perfect. You say this is your first time doing it?
Yep,
first year?
My first year in it, so
awesome.
Excited to see what it'll do for us. So.
What's your range, or how far are you going?
As far as
no, like how far around Eastern Iowa are you going?
Oh, the whole Eastern Iowa area. Anybody that needs it done. So
awesome.
Yep, we're on the travel a little bit. So
well, sounds good. Yeah, we're out of, what'd you say, Miles? Is you technically out
Miles,
of?
Iowa.
Yeah, so Miles, Iowa. If you're in Eastern Iowa, Western Illinois, feel free to hit him up. It's pretty neat technology where these things are at.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, we'll see how it goes. So here you can kind of see, this is a time lapse of us filling up the drone. So the drone takes 10 gallons of product total. So out of that 10 gallons, we're putting about probably 3 gallons worth of chemical. We're basically putting a fungicide, an insecticide, micronutrients in there. So it really wasn't too bad to load. It was actually pretty easy. So I'm going to be interjecting my thoughts, just kind of the my first impressions while I was watching this drone footage. So this footage is all sped up into 200, basically double time, so it's obviously not going this fast. But so off the cuff, you can kind of see by this view, it looks like there's quite a bit of drift from that view. But I want, and that was kind of my gut feel too. But if you look at it, especially when you get the side views, I think that's just the very fine mist of that rotor stream, the big 2 streams, because this is basically 2 nozzles that rotate. That's how it's spraying. The majority of that gets to the ground. It's just that lighter stuff that just kind of gets blown up by the rotor wash. Because, you know, a drone obviously has 8 rotors or 6 rotors, whatever it is. This one has 8, and a rotor is essentially a blade. And that's what keeps it up. You can kind of see right here, there's a perfect shot. See how a majority of that stuff gets to the ground? It's just the light stuff that just kind of gets flung in the air. So I think this thing does a much better job than what you can tell from the ground. Because like I said, you can kind of see as we pan to the front that there is a little bit of drift as it's kind of getting flung around. But it was just, I still think a majority of the product gets to the plants and to the ground. I don't think these type of drones will replace a ground rig, but to my opinion, this is going to be much better than a helicopter or an airplane, because an airplane or helicopter is putting down the same amount of rate. The problem with there, though, is they're just going so dang fast. And with a drone, you have the blades or the air that's actually propelling the drone up. It's pushing the product into the crop. So I don't know. I really like the job that what it's done. I'm really looking forward. I'm hoping we can do some trials. Get Keaton back out to do some fungicide trials. You know, spray hat the field with this, spray hat the field with an airplane. Huge thanks to Keaton and Wilson Ag for coming out and spraying our wheat, saving us a pile of time switching tires over, and really do appreciate it. You guys can go find them out. If you guys are looking for any drone or any aerial spraying, link will be down below to their Facebook page. Feel free to reach out. He's willing to travel. Great guy to work with, great family. So I'm gonna go up and start spraying. So I got Roundup in the back, that's what I need. I got my iPad, I got my money for my Subway for lunch. Let's go. Sprayer's rolling. We're ready to get it going. So I gotta wait probably 20 minutes for that thing to pull in. So I'm gonna offload my Roundup and fill up my sprayer. That should be about right then. Load it up, ready to roll. Let's bounce. Rolling. So this field is getting bad. Very, very bad. So I'm glad I'm out here right now because it's a no-till field. Nothing's been worked. Mechanical tillage is the best form of, or mechanical spraying is the best form of weed control, otherwise known as tillage. But we try to no-till as much as we can. But the downside to that is when you no-till and you can't get at it right away, sometimes you have problems like this where weeds are starting to come up, very much so. But not that big of a deal. These are all small enough where they will get killed. It won't impact our corn or impact our future weed control issues. Hopefully not, if I get it all killed. Which I put a healthy dose of Roundup in, as well as AMS on top of our normal corn recipe, which really will help decimate these weeds. You can kind of see corn's up. That's the risky part, is I should not be out here spraying with fat tires when the corn is up. Therefore I need to get the stuff sprayed yesterday. No, probably the stuff should have been sprayed last week. Oh well. What do you do? No sense crying over spilt milk. Just gotta get her done as quick as we can. Just gonna send it with the booms half folded. Because why the heck not? So that field is done. This field is not yet planted. Nathan will be getting on that here, not tomorrow, but the next day. Hopefully the next day we'll have all of our beans done except for our one field that we always haul manure on. So hopefully that's the case. I gotta go back and finish this field that Curtis started, what was that, Thursday or so, whatever that was. We have hay growing here. This hay actually looks really good. Needs to get cut probably in the next week. Will it? Probably not, but hopefully so. So you guys can kind of see this hay right here is starting to turn away from that dark lush green to yellow. It should be dying because Curtis came up here and sprayed all this hay. When did he do that? A while ago. So it's starting to die, which is perfect. That's what we wanted. I'm gonna finish this off. So I got 2 fields done up here. Now I gotta go to the fields. What I mean by that is the fields that I was doing here, they got planted 7 days ago today, or 8 days ago, something like that. And they're up. They've been up for about 2 days now. But the fields that I was going to next over at the Andrew farm, that was planted a day earlier, so they're gonna be up even more. I'm not going to kill the plants because the growing point is still below the soil. What I mean by that is when corn gets so tall, its growing point, or the point where if you sever it off, the plant will die. That point is until V5, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong down below, agronomists. And I believe it's V5 when that corn gets, the growing point gets above the soil. So anytime before that, you can run it over and it won't kill it. That's why I'm not that concerned. I'm not rushing to go get the skinny tires on because the growing point is still below the soil. But if I would wait much longer, the closer it gets to V5, the more damage you'll do. So even though you won't kill it, you'll still stunt it. And as I've mentioned before, corn is a very bully of a plant. Or really, corn or soybeans for that matter. What I mean by that is, first off, look how clean this field is. Man, what I mean by that is, corn needs to be the most even emerged as possible. So if you have 2 plants that are taller than the plant that is next to it, it will drown out sunlight, it'll stunt its growth, and just like the weak link on the playground, it won't survive very nicely. So we want all the plants even, so all the plants can have as much sunlight as possible to spread the bounty. These hills are very scenic. I have a love-hate relationship with them, but my sprayer, on the other hand, has a hate-hate relationship with them. It hates it on the road, and it hates it in the fields. Let me tell you what, though, no one can deny that it's not pretty. All the dairies already had their hay cut, a lot of their first crop hay cut. This one's actually already starting to rake it, so they must be chopping it later today or tomorrow. Because the dairies in the area have hay because they need feed in the middle of or in early summer. And hay is a good rotation crop for the marginal ground in our area. It's a good thing to have. That's why we got probably 50 to 75 acres of it scattered across the countryside. I always hate coming back here because I lose my coverage or my accuracy, because I need high accuracy with this sprayer so that way I can have my shutoffs right on point and not smoke waterways. So we'll hop out once we get up here and I'll show you what I mean by the corn and how it's already emerged. Well, here we are. Corn's coming up. So let me show you what I was talking about before about bullies. This is going to be a prime example. So big corn, big corn. Ideally, we'd like all of our corn at this stage, but nothing here yet, nothing here yet. Good, good, just coming out, good. So that could be a number of things. It could be a planter problem. It could be just a no-till issue that we have. When these guys grow up, these guys are gonna be, you know, a foot taller than this guy, which means these guys are going to suck all the sunlight or a lot of the sunlight away from this guy. So these two will have, let's just say 10% more of ear. So 10, 20% more, but this guy will have 50% less. So you're net minus 30. It's not good. So that's why we want to have even emergence. That's the importance of it. There might even be a crust. Look at this guy, he's just poking through like that. Oh yeah, there is a crust. What a crust is, when you get a hard rain and it gets dry again, sometimes a crust will form and it makes it impossible for plants to come up. That's another reason why you could have poor emergence. Like, let me go grab, actually I got pliers here. I'm wondering if we dig. Nope, there's just no seed there. No seed there either. I don't know, so we don't have a crust issue, but man, the emergence here is kind of crap, if I'm being honest. Like, look, it's a 1.5 foot gap between these two seeds. That's not good. Like, this is what we want, 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches. I don't know. Regardless, I need to keep spraying. That's what I need to do. Yep, the dairy up here on top of the hill to the left. I'll show you in a bit. They're out merging their hay. I bet they're gonna chop this here probably tomorrow, I'd guess, or this evening. They got a little, I wouldn't say little, looks like an 88 series tractor, maybe an International 86 series, and a merger behind it. All the difference between a merger and a rake, a merger actually picks the hay up, throws it on a belt, and moves it over. It just basically is less dirt in the hay, as opposed to a rake, which is what we got, just drags along the ground. It's a 86 series tractor pulling that merger. It's kind of hard to see through the boom, I apologize, but literally all it's doing is picking up, throwing it onto a belt, and yeeting her into a windrow. Mailman, I'm guessing, or a woman. Yeah, that's the area that's gonna chop it. County's out grading. Perfect. Apparently they're gonna be crowning a bunch of these gravel roads, trying to do them all in 5 years. Guess that's what I read in the paper. At least he's using a good grader. Know where those are made. Been to that factory before. It's a Deere one. 772G is what I'm guessing, or GP. I'll just take my time. It's actually kind of neat. I've never watched a grader before. And that's pretty impressive. That's really smooth. Appreciate you getting out of the way, buddy. That would really suck if that was my field that I was going to. I mean, that is my field, but we're just not going to it right now. And it was a 770, not 772 GP. I'll be spraying that field probably a little later this afternoon, I'm guessing. It's not right now. She's a little wet in spots. I think she'll carry. Especially as light as I am right now, I think she'll carry. But I'm mainly worried about right there, so we will find out, I suppose. At least I'm almost empty, so I'll be able to do the outside round when I'm light. We'll find out though. Wish me luck. So this is kind of a nice thing about what I was us doing all these fencing and tree stuff in this video. Now I can overhang the fence a little ways, kill all the grass and mini trees and stuff, and we can keep our fence much cleaner. That's the hope, at least. Not tracking right now, but let's make it impressions. I think I'll be all right though, but that looks a little wet. Wish me luck. Don't be wet, don't be wet, don't be wet, don't be wet, don't be wet. Ah, I think that was too wet. Yep, that was too wet. I'm gonna have to leave the bottoms for tomorrow. Some guys are out going fishing. Nice. Well, I made it through, but I definitely did a little bit of damage, so that sucks. It's just a little too wet. When it's too wet, I'll compact the ground and I'll imprint it, and I'll severely stunt that corn going up. So that sucks, but I guess it is what it is. It's done now, but that does tell me that I need to wait until tomorrow, probably afternoon, to do the other field, or even to finish that field for one. But, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fill up 2 more times and then probably take the water trailer home. It's the plan. Budman's tile's plugged. This pond flooded everything over there. Ugh. I'll need to fix that here soon. But I'm gonna head up and spray my dad's 2 fields. All loaded up again. I think I just ripped this connector. Hopefully it just came off. Yeah. Might have gotten lucky. Basically I lost all my height sensing because this came off. Oh, while we're out here, let's see how soon till this emerges. This is my dad's field. I bet she'll be out of the ground tomorrow. There's the little sprout. Nice. Let's keep going. Well, there's no way to reset it. Once I replug that together, it just kept yelling at me, so I'm just gonna do a restart. Whoa. Probably my biggest pet peeve at these case booms, other than them being too light, they float back and forth, and that is terrible in the hills. Like horrible in the hills, because if I'm going down a hill, it's going to lean forward, so I'm not going to cover that much, but B, when a sprayer thinks I'm right here and it's actually 5 feet farther forward, it's going to destroy a waterway. Ask me how I know. Another field done and knocked out. Head back down the goat path. Oh, time for some lunch. Well, my dad's 2 fields are sprayed, so that's good. Head down the giant hill. I don't feel, 10 mile an hour is fast down this hill. That's what I'm doing. Woo! And then we'll spray this last tank out. My dad wants me to spray Roundup on his food plot, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Load up one more time, then I gotta head home, because I got a church thing at 6. And I'll load up one more time, then my dad can go ahead and take the tender trailer back home. Yeah, that was a smidge too wet. Oh well, what do you do? All done with this field. Now I'm out. We'll head up top. Neighbor's out sprayed in his 1086 and Hardy sprayer. You can tell because he's leaving pink foam markers. He uses foam, not auto steer. Have a good one, Scott. Now I'm go ahead and gonna spray my dad's food plot real quick. I'll spray with Roundup. Just douse it, and we're gonna head home. Well, I got this all sprayed. About a week, this will be yellow. My dad's gonna disc it up and then spray plant soybeans. The day banging away on the sprayer. Had a pretty good day. Like I said, I'm quitting at 4:30 just because I gotta get home for a church thing. But I had a pretty good day. I got all done up here at Bellevue, minus 1 load. I'm gonna load up and then just leave it in there for tomorrow. I will say this, doing ground up here is just so inefficient. So I had a good day as far as covering ground or covering fields go. I did 7 fields today, but those 7 fields added up to maybe 150 acres, maybe. Actually, not even that. So it is what it is. Just kind of the par for the course for here in eastern Iowa. Go back and fill it up and head home. Hard to see, but the cows are in the pasture. Dad just moved them over from back here over to the pasture. Nice.
Okay, you got the Budman here. You ain't gonna believe it, but I had to come up to Gasser's True Value in Lancaster, Wisconsin, because the one in Maquoketa, Cascade, Galena all of them do not have what I needed. So I had to come up and get 13 rolls of wire and 37 posts. That's what they were shorting me. So had to make a special trip up here to get that. So now I'm gonna head back home and dump this stuff off, and I'll probably have to head down to the farm somewhere to get some stuff down there. So if not, they don't need me. I hope to be planting a few trees today, but who knows. Okay, I'm heading back to Iowa.
Cranking this up for my dad. And I think we're ready to go. So I need a vamoose. I'm heading south. That thing's all loaded up. Let's roll. So we're at a minor flood stage right now, and the water's still 4 to 5 feet from the tracks. Pretty nuts how high that water went when it was above the tracks there.
Car wash. I'm at the car wash here in Bellevue here, filling up my truck for the first time. We got Devin. He's the owner, but he don't work here very much. First time filling up my truck, and it's gonna be a bellyache. It was about a quarter full, just under a quarter, and we have almost $100, $98.35, almost 29 gallons of gas. So must be a 35-gallon tank, but it is what it is. You take power over mileage, I guess, so you gotta have it. So you gotta be able to haul a bunch of stuff around. So like I said before, we just come back from Lancaster, Wisconsin with all this stuff.
Just finished up. Now I'm gonna head home, guys. So I do have some news for you guys. We are more than likely going to be opening up a store that'll be selling hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts, etc. And I'm actually really excited that I hope I can get my special item on here as well. We'll see. We'll leave that one a mystery for now. So like I said, I'll keep you guys in the loop when and if that comes out. But now, like I said, I appreciate you guys watching. We are hopefully gonna be done planting here in these next couple days. Pat's down at the long farm right now. Got plenty to do, that's for sure, but we have some good weather up ahead. Might have a little rain Thursday night into Friday, but only time will tell. So appreciate you guys watching all the time. Greatly appreciate it. So take care, take it easy, stay safe, and ta-ta for now. God, GoPro, suck it, turning on. Look in the mirror, there's a Fendt sprayer. Haven't seen one of those around yet.